Okay, thank you, Yuri. Hi all. I hope you all can hear me well. And I'm very excited to show to you what we have been working on in past few months. Because in my opinion, this is probably the best thing that happened in the year 2020 so far. So stay tuned. Basically, what I'm gonna start with, it's a feature that we called smart questions. So let's see what that is all about. Basically, in past few months, we focused on three main points, and that is to simplify, make more user-friendly, and modernize our product tools. Especially if I'm talking for myself, this is correct for inspections. So uh, we try to make it simple for you guys to use it, regardless the fact whether you're a technical person or not so technical. We just really wanted to bring it closer to the business user and also to bring it to the 2020 by modernizing a little bit the actual user experience. So let me take you through our rule editor, or basically something that you might recognize from our questionnaire designer. Anytime you wanted to engage some logic, business logic within your questionnaire designer, you had to go to our rule editor, used one of these buttons, on load, on save, on change. And basically this is what you would see. I mean, this is a great tool. I mean, this is probably the most robust tool when it comes to any questionnaire builders ever on the market. It's extremely flexible. You can cover all kinds of scenarios in it, which is great. However, we were also thinking that sometimes you just have small problems that you need to tackle, and small problems require simple solutions. And that's where smart questions come into the game. Basically, for most common business scenarios or business logic that is used in the template, we created these three icons, which when are clicked on, you can select your logic directly within the questionnaire designer itself. You don't have to leave it for the rule editor. And also, as you can see, we try to humanize the language that you are using it with. This means basically that all these very simple scenarios can be done in much more natural way and also much quicker. The main benefits as we see them is definitely the time you're going to spend creating simple logic, such as visibility of the questions. This also applies for the effort that you have to spend working on it. And for those guys who would feel slightly, I might say, intimidated by the rule editor itself, or maybe they just don't want to repeat some kind of this if and then cycles, this tool is much less technical, even though it still provides quite a broad scope of functionalities. So what does it actually do? So what you can influence with these icons or with these functionalities is the visibility of questions, which means some of the questions might be hidden until a previous answer is a certain kind. Editability of the questions, so whether the question is enabled or disabled for the technician or the mobile user themselves. Also, you can influence required questions. And as a little bonus for you guys from us, is something that we call smart styles and also default values, which basically means that you can directly in line of the question, you can specify what might be the default value. You can either type it in, or also we pre-created some kind of fetches for you, where some information is automatically input for you. For example, the name of the inspector, which is taken from the configuration. And also these smart styles, as I mentioned. So something that you would have to create a complicated rule for when it comes to conditional styles. Like let's say you're gonna choose a value satisfactory and you wanted to turn the label green. You had to do it in the rule editor. Right now you can just select the styles directly from the question itself. So, well, enough talking. Let me show you a demonstration. What I'm gonna show you here is basically a pre-recorded video, but I'm gonna guide it through it live. So don't you worry about getting lost. So welcome to my inspections organization. When I keep my templates nice and neat, I'm gonna show you the template that I already pre-created for you. And you can also see that our designers have not been lazy. This really is because we created a new, very nice, sleek, and modern design of the questions. And what we're gonna talk about now is how we can substitute some of the cases that we would create in this rule editor just by simply using the icons on the right, which stand for the smart questions, or creating a simple logic. What I'm gonna do first, in this text question, I'm gonna show you that these three icons, what they stand for, on the left we have editability, then there is visibility, and on the right there is required. Basically, I'm gonna pre-fill a default value that you can either type in, but I want here to my name as an inspector or a technician to show up. So I just click there, and easy as that. It's basically a wildcard. You can use more fetches like that. In a second question, which is a number question, you can see that I have different ranges. And when there is an input of a number and it falls between the range, I want to use some kind of predefined style. What you see here is basically styles that you already edited in the style editor, and it just takes the titles and the configuration from the style editor and assigns it after answering. The same works for the option set, where when you choose a certain option, you assign it a certain style. But you can also use with the option set is of course the default value setting, where you can just pre-select one of the options for the mobile user. Next question, if you look at the smart styles again and you see a default, that basically means it just takes the style that is already pre-configured for the question in the property. So of course you don't have to use smart styles everywhere. You can just set it as default, then basically nothing happens. In the next text question, I'm going to focus on this smart question, which means building a simple logic where I want the question to be visible based on an answer of a previous question. I click on the icon. I can just simply set it on visible or hidden, or I can click on the smart. And this opens a very nice model window directly in there, where I can select the condition saying when this question is visible. We try to really use as human language as possible. And as you can see, you don't have to go like, if this question, then, which was the case basically in the rule editor. This is much easier, much quicker. You can, of course, add condition, combine them, etc. If you set the reset button, then it just clears out and you can start again. You can see that the icon lit up in green, which means that it contains logic, or so it's a smart question. That's what we call it. When it comes to the date and time questions, first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to set it on disabled, which means I don't want the mobile user to type anything in. And I want to choose a default value. And what you can do is just set it to now, which basically means it will use the time at the moment of opening the questionnaire automatically. Last signature, I just set it on required, easy as that. And save and close. And as you can see, I mean, this is really fast, and we basically build up the logic in just below 3 minutes. Let's have a look in the application. Let's localize my template. And as you can see here, so the name is predefined, works fine. I mean, basically what you see is the same thing that you would see using the rules or the rule editor, but it just took much less time to configure it. So just so you believe me, we just go through this. You can see that the styles are changing, which is good. This is what we wanted. A new question pops up. The date and time, as you can see, is timestamped, is there, and is not being edited. Just have a little heart from me, because I really love this kind of feature. And that's it. We can complete, and it's done. I mean, this really enhances the way you can work with the questionnaire designers. So that would be the first functionality that, honestly, I mean, we spend most of the time building up. And the second thing I want to mention to you is also happening in the questionnaire designer. And it's more of a little bit more visual features, let's say, which is a questionnaire icon and a logo. When you look at this slide and you see these little icons, obviously there are associations in your mind straight away what it means without even having to say anything or write anything down. You can see it's a basketball, there's something with dining, there is aeroplane, there's flying. So this is what we had in mind when we introduced the questionnaire icon. So we decided it would be a very nice feature to actually assign a template, some kind of an icon that might represent it or might be somehow suggesting what it is. This icon is used directly in the questionnaire designer, but what is even more important, you really make it stand out in the application itself. So you have a list of templates, but for each template, maybe you can really assign some kind of icon that represents it, and then it's much easier to find it. So I think this is actually quite nice, and it also helps you build up the application a little bit better. Second visual feature that we've added is a logo. This is basically a new question type that you use on top of your questionnaire template, which is shown in the application. And this is the best bit. You automatically reuse it on your mobile report. Why did we decide to introduce it? Well, because we think that the logo really builds up trust and credibility with your customers when you're using it in your templates. And last but not least, definitely, I mean, most of the companies we have come across have guidelines saying that some kind of logo or a specific kind of logo needs to be used in templates and especially in the mobile report. And here I would like to ask Yuri to show you the first poll from me, if it's possible.
So, yeah, I'm now launching the poll with the question about logos and if you've had a requirement. So please vote in this quick poll. And I see first responses coming in.
Okay, that's great, guys.
And I promise we'll show you the results afterwards.
I think this is a really nice way to break up a little bit my monologue. Just to sort of wake you up.
Yeah. So I'm going to close the poll. So if you are still thinking about voting, please do. And okay, so I'm closing the poll and we show you the results in a sec. So poll closed, and now here are the results. So it seems that in the most of the attendees of this webinar had from 1 to 5 projects where they were required to have the logo embedded in the mobile reports. So
Okay,
hiding
great.
the results and back to you, Zuzka.
Okay, great, guys. I'm glad to hear that. Well, now your life has just become a lot easier. Let me let me tell you that. So again, I have a little demonstration for you. Again, it's a pre-recorded video. So let me get straight to it. I'm revisiting my inspections organization and the questionnaire template that you just seen. As you can see on the screen, we've introduced this kind of a header of the questionnaire. And basically, just when you want to add an icon, just click on this rectangle already done there on the right in the properties, as I'm doing right now. So I've added an icon. And on the right, you can see all the icons that are using across the organization in your template, so you can very easily reuse them. While I'm here, I also would like to add a logo. As I said, it's a static question that must sit on the top of the template automatically. And so yeah, it's just a question with certain properties that are already pre-configured for you, such as a style that it doesn't have a label. You just add an image, upload an image again. And that's it, it's uploaded. And when it comes to showing on mobile report, automatically it's ticked on. Of course, if you feel like you just want it on your template and something else on the report, you can just tick it off, no problem there. Save and close. And you can see already here that the icon has been used. It's a very nice thing. Also breaks it up in the questionnaire designer as well. And I'm gonna look in the application now. So turn on inspections, find my template, and you can see the icon right there. I think it's pretty clear, and straight away you could see a little bulb. So the logo, as we can see it, sits on the top. I'll just quickly go through this so I can show you a nice report of it. Okay, and a signature now. This time a real one. Don't try to copy it. So I complete with the report. And as you can see, automatically without any configuration, it's used in your report. And if the report had more pages, it would be used as a header on each page, which is usually how you usually use your logo. Of course, I mean, even mobile report can be configured further. So this is just the default state. And just to show you, also the answered view contains the icons. So basically every view contains the icon and the logo was right there. Yeah, that would be it for this demonstration as well. And I think, I mean, this has been two biggest features probably within inspections. I hope you guys liked it. And there is also one other nice improvement, especially for you guys who have been using our optimized data storage. You've been storing your results of the questionnaires in JSON format, which is very handy when you have really a lot of questions, and it trains your synchronization engine. But if you use it in a JSON format, it's basically sent back as a one record. What has been a problem was what to do further with the data in JSON, because it's more difficult to parse them. But this spring, we have actually created a support for mobile reports and a results viewer. So now feel free to use the JSON format, and you of course can create mobile reports from it and see it in the results viewer. And yeah, it's been a great and tough spring. Thanks a lot for listening to me, and I'm leaving with another poll. If I may ask Yuri to show you the last one, because I'm
Okay.
really interested to see what kind of features you might want to see in inspections in the near future. So I just did some selection for you.
Yeah, so I've launched the poll, and this one is multi-selection, so feel free to check more if you would like to see them. And I think it's a nice way for you to influence or let us know what you think we should be building. So again, we are getting the first results or first votes. Okay, and it looks like we are getting already most of the votes. So I'm going to close the poll soon. Okay, so I'm closing the poll. And again, here are the results. So as you can see, the top selection seems to be the ability to create and update data within the CRM system through questionnaire, which is great. So perhaps something we could look into more
Yeah.
in our
Okay.
next
That's
releases.
great results. We definitely look into it. It's on our roadmap. So if anything, we might even uh, ask for further details later on. Okay, thank you very much. I will give my word now to Susanna, the other Susanna, my colleague, and she will talk about the about AR. So enjoy.